where the heat wave was a hoax, and he had a parka on and a scarf, and he was drinking a cup of soup.
I believe it.
What's going on?
Listen, Brendan Walsh is part of that whole Duncan Trussell, Todd Berry Illuminati, where he's probably up on some hill somewhere, like in a cooled down vegetative state. He's not like the rest, the riffraff living here in the, amongst the people. He's a big timer. He's got a world record podcast. I don't know if you've heard about that.
Heard about it, yeah.
Heard about it, yeah. Every morning it's trending.
Yeah. So I don't know what it's like where Brendan is, but it's 106 here in West Hollywood.
Ooh,
so
buddy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
But it's a nice dry heat, right?
It's a dry heat. Yeah.
Yeah.
As my dad said, so is an oven.
Hey.
Landing restraints
Yeah,
raised.
perfect.
Be
Thank
careful
you.
to observe restrictions.
What's up,
when
Terry
leaving
Mitchell?
the station.
Chad Shank says hi. You want to be on the podcast?
Not yet. I gotta
All right.
calm down.
Is she
What
still calm?
happened?
She's still
Calming
calming
down
down.
from the heat.
Well, there's
No,
that.
from
and
the-
she also
from the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Shaylee heard about this because she was on the phone consulting with her therapist, Egg Lester Lindsay, and Carrie Mitchell tried to make biscuits and gravy from scratch today, and it turned into an event.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it was a whole
Nothing
thing.
beats that first bite and the look on her face is like, I fucking spent all day doing this. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty emotional cook.
That's
Yeah.
Andy, that perfectly describes it. She
Yeah.
was cooking on raw emotion by the end.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, that's not the best way to do it. It's still a scientific process. So you need to separate yourself from your feelings on the biscuit and figure out what the fuck is going on and plow forward.
Just this morning, Prisoner Mike, who's on my Twitch stream all the time, has his own Twitch stream. He lives off the grid and does things that are cool, gold panning and stuff. Just this morning, he live streamed making solar biscuits in a solar oven. It turns out that her time would have been better spent watching someone else make solar biscuits than trying to make her own biscuits.
And then the Pillsbury Doughboy do the rest.
This solar oven gets up to 207 degrees. The biscuits will be ready on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Still quicker than Mitchell's method.
Don't you have to throw out the solar cookbook every couple of years with the climate change? Like, oh, no. Yeah.
These times are all wrong.
Don't do biscuits in August.
These biscuits are going to take forever. It's a good thing I have my jerky going. That should be done in a couple of days.
Yeah, I had I'll start later, but man, I'm fucking,
Yeah, start whatever you want, buddy.
That's all right. We're good.
I'm talking to Chad on this one because I had a feeling that I'm sure Chad's very familiar with is hate, rage, just fucking anger you want to be violent, but there's really nobody to be violent with. So then it just goes inward. That's what so let's see. Anyway, my
it's good when it starts with anyway.
Some fucking motherfucker I don't know. My bike's gone anyway. I left it out last night because I'm going on that trek to Montana. So last night I was thinking maybe I'll take the bike. I put my helmet in.
You're riding your bike to Montana?
No.
Not anymore, I ain't.
Oh. Was that the plan? You were
I
gonna
think you're going to take it, strap it to the roof, Shaylee.
No, put it in the car, but I didn't put it in the car. We have a long dead-end driveway, and I usually don't have my bike out there, but it was out there for setting out there, and fucking skulkers around and shit, Somebody spotted it. Last night, about 10 o'clock, there was a fucking dude with a dog out in the driveway. And my neighbor lady turned on a light, and the guy just stood there with the dog, and then she lost interest, or the guy didn't run off or nothing, but I think he was a part of a two-person team walking that fucking dog as cover. Probably his crank whore got on my fucking bike and rode up. And that's what, you know, I ride that fucking bike. I'm not some fucking tweaker skulking driveways and shit. I hit trail, you know, it's like a personal item.
Yeah.
Like taking
Yeah,
something,
well, it sucks. You got
I
something
fuck-
stolen.
I've had that for a long time. It's a fucking.
Did you leave it out? But where did you leave it that they
It's
took it?
way up? I mean, you have to go way you didn't just happen on it. Your
Right.
skull all the
Yeah.
way up next to my garage, all the way up behind
Oh,
my.
that's a bold move because you have a long driveway. I've been
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Well,
I've seen it.
to be fair,
That's
they could say they were just looking for the mailbox.
Or they could. Well,
I was going to point fingers at the mailman, but you know, you're right.
it hasn't been up the
It-
driveway.
It makes it worse when they come into your personal space like that.
yeah.
Like when they stole my pressure washer off my porch, they had to open my gate on my
Yeah,
porch
that's
and
wrong.
take it.
Yeah, that's
And it,
brazen.
to me, it's like I don't know what the laws are where you are, Andy, but to me, I immediately I'm like, I could fucking shoot you in the head
Yeah,
for
and
that.
and
Like,
they're
I
taking
could-
that
I
risk for a
could
power
legally
washer.
shoot you in the head for what you did,
Yeah.
and I missed it like fucking that much.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Especially
man.
your property, Chad. It's like it doesn't look like you should be fucking with anyone in that area. There's dogs and high fences and,
Yeah.
and like just
No
you know everyone's
trespassing
got a
signs.
gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would someone even know? Like that's like it seems like a crime of opportunity. Like someone
Oh,
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
like you know like searching around, felt like there was nobody home, so they could look around and then
What
saw something worth taking. Like because who else is like, oh, you know where the best power washer is?
I live down a
Shane's porch.
I live down a dirt road, Erickson, that's a dead end. There's only like 3 houses that are beyond me. And I know exactly what happened. One of those houses down there hired some very cheap labor to come over and do some work. And on their last day,
They got it.
they rolled
They got
out.
their bonus.
They
They
bonused.
decided, they noticed that, what vehicles had been there throughout the week
Yeah.
while they
Sure.
were there, and what vehicles
Yeah.
weren't there that day, and they fucking took that
That
shit.
sucks, man. And
So
Andy,
I get
that
it,
sucks.
man.
You got
I
your
get
bike.
it.
It
And
sucks.
it's
You
an
got your bike.
impotent fucking rage. You're exactly
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it's like
There's nowhere
hey,
to direct.
hey, I hope you like the way I have the brake set. You know, it's like stealing my guitar. That motherfucker ain't gonna hit no trails and do anything cool with it. They're gonna flip it. So I'll give you white drugs. We can make some calls. You know, you fucking cunts. But I know their MO, so I'm gonna do a little neighborhood watch at least tonight. Well, if I see somebody with a white dog, I'll get out. I'll get out with my camera and then I'll say, "Hey, man, hey, you haven't happened to see this kind of dog, have you? My dog went missing, you know." And if they, you
Dude,
know,
why-
I'll fucking that way I get
put
them.
up. Dude, why don't you put up a ring style camera out in the out front of your garage and also down your lane a little?
Well, now
That would. Well, I'm just saying. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I thought
now,
about
I mean, the bike's gone.
Let's
Now he
settle
has
down
to
here.
spend that money on a bike, Erickson.
I'm just saying it
First
might be
of all-
fun on the podcast to watch Andy's
Yes.
ring.com
Oh
footage
yeah.
and let him describe what's happening.
after I did like I was so it's just so mad. Like I when I started like walking out, like what am I gonna do? It's like 6 hours later, I'm gonna walk around and then they're gonna have it, hanging out of a truck.
Polishing it, putting
It's
a
just-
spoke,
they
putting
still
a
got
card
it.
in the spokes.
Yeah,
He's
and
still pedaling it. He's just pedaling it really slowly.
Yeah.
At that point of the day, I had gotten up at 5 and I waged bloody war with the bees. You can't tape it. It's too fast and furious, ramming fucking sticks down their hole and fucking blasting in the dark. And I hit them with every.
That seems like the blasting the sticks in the hole seems like that's a thing
Well,
for
at
you.
5 in the morning, it's like you're just, they're gonna be fucking hanging out, going, "What the fuck, man? There's a stick. What do we do? We can't go." But I fucking had them. I blasted them, and then I went and blasted the other nest, and it's like, this is it. This is everything I got. This is shock and awe or whatever. And no fire because of all the gasoline down there and shit. No fire. But I had hot sudsy buckets. And I had about 6 cans of the shit, and I jammed them things, and I didn't get stung. I put shovels down there, like, fuck you motherfuckers, this is it. And I blasted them, and then they no movement from them. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I got them, And then I saw a little movement, and I hit them with foam. Like, it's fucking over. It's fucking over, man. I can relax. And my neighbor lady asked about, did I see somebody in the driveway? I went to the store, and I've got a bag, well, among other items, a big bag of bacon. And then I come home and I'm listening to Todd Snyder sing, and he's getting all serious, like, man, I sat down and I thought about all this shit going on, and I wrote this song, and then he did Beer Run, which is a silly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was just in a good mood, and like, fuck, this is gonna be a good Sunday. And then I was like, where's my bike when I got out in the driveway? And I'm not a rage or a fucking sad eater, but when you're fucking mad and want to hurt somebody and you have a full bag of bacon,
Yeah.
walking around all fucking, my heart's pounding, I keep jamming bacon in my face because I haven't had any breakfast, and now I'm fucking mad.
Is there a specific company that sells bacon by the bag? Because I'm
Hormel.
intrigued. I would
Hormel.
love to buy a bag
Yeah.
of bacon. I've only found it in those little fucking slim packages.
This is my store. They have it cooked, and then they have strips for I've told you this, 75
Yeah,
cents
you
for
got the
strip,
That's
and
right,
then a
that's
bunch
right.
of it, you get like 10 strips for like $1.50. Like, I'll do the math on this. Give me a handful of that.
That's right.
There.
I remember
And
that.
you know, so I ate about probably 10 pieces of bacon, and
Good for you, Andy.
and then I was so mad, and then I
Feel
was
the
like,
pain.
I didn't want to get, because it's like, a gateway to depression when you're like mad at yourself and you've done something stupid. And then I ate that bacon, and I went and jacked off in the backyard to calm down.
Andy,
That's a full day right there.
There's no way. First of all, you've discovered it, brother.
Jacking
There's
off
no
is
way that eating a bag full of bacon and then jacking off isn't the two-tiered combination for whatever ails you. There's whatever problem it comes from. Either your bike got stolen, or you just found out that you didn't get accepted into college, or whatever the news is.
I'm guessing
These
that
two
people.
things, when
Andy, I have advice for you. Sorry, Eric. I thought you were
no,
going.
that's it.
I have advice for you, because I do understand what you said, and you don't want to turn your rage inward because you already hate yourself for fucking other reasons. I do. You can't think about that. So here's what you do. You're gonna need to occupy your time for a few days. You gotta occupy your head. Get on Facebook. You need to join up all the local selling groups.
Yeah.
And then you just fucking peruse them incessantly, knowing that any minute you're going to find that cocksucker that stole your bike trying to sell it. And you're going to be able to plot your fucking murder from there. But it's the first step. And you probably won't, because they probably kept
But
but it will
takes away
occupy your
some
mind.
it takes away some of the
Doing something.
impotence
Yeah.
you feel. Like you can't do anything,
Yep.
But at least you're doing something.
Yeah.
And
Craigslist,
it's
Plus,
like,
you're out of bacon.
Let go,
Anyway.
all of them.
You're
All of them. Your phone's gonna be full of apps. You're gonna be fucking searching all day.
I'm gonna pass the crime on to my insurance company.
Homeowners,
Yeah, and go, it's because my bike got stolen. The bike before this got stolen out of my garage, and they took the meat pie, disappeared, and I went through.
This might be a crime repeated by the same person.
You think they follow me around and go?
Well, no, they already got one.
No,
Listen, people
they
steal a
know
bike and
you're-
it works, and they're gonna come back.
They're checking doorknobs, buddy.
Yeah.
They're shaking down doorknobs, and when one's open, they go in, and you just don't lock your door.
But also, if they steal a bike from you, and they got away with it, then when they come back around, they remember the places they got away from.
Oh, remember that bike place we went?
Yeah,
Hey, let's go.
they hit
Get
the
up
same
that
place
driveway.
again.
Careless
because
guy.
Different house? I thought it was a different house.
The first time you get your bike stolen, was it the same house?
Yeah, no, different house.
Oh,
That's how
then,
long I.
well, if
Then
they're
they are
tracking you,
following
then
you.
it is deep.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
goes deeper
that
than
theory to
the
work,
other.
that he would have had to follow Andy and be like, sometimes this guy's irresponsible. We know he used to live over here.
Seems like a lot of work to track this guy for years for a fucking bike, but it's gonna be fucking so sweet, guys. When we get this bike,
He's gonna leave it out any night.
he will. You know he will. And they're all like not going for it. Like, I don't know. He seems pretty responsible. He's been locking it up inside.
Maybe.
No. You see, look, he's already putting up a willy-nilly mailbox. This dude is playing fast and loose with the rules.
Not only
Meanwhile,
that,
they've got all the issues with Andy Patreon B-roll footage of Andy setting up mailboxes and dancing naked and fighting
Yeah.
logs.
Maybe
They're
that's
the
it.
ones to get in touch with.
Chad, that could be it too. It could be a Patreon subscriber who's now learned the routines and understands, and he's like, you know what, $5 a month is too fucking much. I'm gonna get my fucking subscription money back immediately.
Andy.
Yeah.
Maybe
What's
it's-
James Frost Wynn been doing? Does he have an alibi? He's
I-
been floating around
I
Eugene.
actually went and put him down, and he's a professional pinball player, and we played one of his favorite games.
Hold on a second. You can't go
Shaylee
by
has
that one,
an-
Andy.
Shaylee has an objection.
Would it please the court if the defendant
But-
would explain this
that-
pinball champion, this
But
pinball
that's
wizard?
it.
I
Only
didn't
in-
think he's a
only in
professional, but he doesn't, he doesn't win every tournament. But locally, he's probably the number one ranked pinballer around town, right?
That did not answer any questions. I don't
No,
think
it
Chris
did.
You
did
hear what I
question.
said?
But it did. But it did though. It kind of did though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, what is this ranking system and who does it? And
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Well,
Is
let's
there
see.
a Facebook
W-
group or a magazine?
WPBA. WPBA. It's
The World Pinball Association.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
the World Pro Bowlers Association.
No, those guys don't gel well. You don't want the pinball. Oh, they have different ideas on what to do with balls.
One is slightly more. One is slightly less of a sport than the other.
Yeah. The
You're
bowlers
gonna
don't.
make two groups of professional sportsmen angry, Shaylee. Watch it.
Yeah. So, but I went down to this bar that has these quite a few. I didn't realize it, but they're popular again, pinball. And I
Yeah.
played him in one of. He goes, "This is one of my favorites here." And he does fair tilting. He knows the machine, so he tilts.
They call it body English, I believe.
Right. Well, and I didn't do much of that, but I had a little bit of that, that fucking pinball wizard magic going in my wrist at that particular game. And I
supple
really,
wrists.
I think that was the only game we played of it. I think, and I beat him.
So he's not much of a pro.
So a guy tells you he's a professional pinball player. You beat him the one time you play,
and then he wanted probably, but here's the thing, I'm not a very good mark because I'm too inattentive.
Right.
How about a game for money, and then I'm wandering off doing something else, going, I'm playing ping pong right now. I'm beating this guy. Played ping pong in the Olympics. Special Olympics, and he played by himself, but he was awarded a ribbon.
Got a medal.
It's called the International Flipper Pinball Association.
Oh, yeah, and James Frost Wynn is ranked 200.
Ooh.
But he played somebody who was like really high ranked and beat him, just like I beat James Frost Wynn.
What's that rank you? You probably rank up
you're
there.
ranked.
Well, like I'm from out of nowhere, so there's, I think if I
Is it
got
like
him,
Highlander? Like if you beat him, do you get his ranking?
Eventually.
I think you should be able to put it on your resume at least. Like pinball prodigy.
Yeah.
I'm basically Randy Quaid of pinball, of his Kingpin appearance.
200th on the IFPA is a Philipp Unga from Baden, Germany.
James Frost wins.
Word got around that he lost to an unranked guy who was really high, who didn't even, these things still take quarters and shit like that, And he carries around like a cokehead would have his own like spoon kit. He's got a little plastic roll of quarters he takes around. So it's kind of an impressive situation.
Well, you always be ready, right?
Wait, so he convinced you he was a professional pinballer based on the fact that he had a plastic coin purse?
And then he lost?
And then he lost.
This guy, he basically has a plastic roll of quarters he can hold to defend himself while he's busking with his trumpet on the street. And Andy fucking is a professional pinball.
It started to occur to me. I went down there I was distracted. I was down there, hey, let's play pinball, and then across town, somebody's skulking around in my driveway getting a lay of the land.
Maybe
James
he's in
Frost
on it.
like, oh, hang on.
That's how it-
Yeah.
That's how it came up. I wanted to know what his alibi was.
Yeah, well, I was with him earlier, so he could have very well been, setting me up. He's probably the one who.
Distraction.
He's the one who told him he's got a Gary fucking Fisher bike, Marin model, cherry-ish,
He wasn't riding your bike when he came over, was he, Andy? I'm just checking to make sure you didn't
but
miss.
he knew I had it. I had a couple drinks, and then I went home, and I'd probably be, going to bed early.
Eating some bacon.
And look, I'm not saying all trumpet players are bike thieves. I'm just saying all the trumpet players I know might have stolen a bike. That's all that's as far as I'm willing to take it. I'm not painting with a broad brush here.
Yeah, and well, I'm painting with a broad brush because when he was youthful and out of high school, he was homeless. So there you go. He's got motive.
Plus, he was mad because you beat him at pinball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all there. It all
It's all
lines
there.
up. Oh,
Yeah.
James, we're
Yeah.
disappointed,
Sorry,
buddy.
Yeah. It'd be
It'd be great if he
pick
rode
up
by
my
in the
scooter
background.
over to Michael Jordan's, beat him on one-on-one, and then my scooter went missing. Like Jordan took it.
Wow, he jumped up, guys. He
Yeah.
jumped up. He's ranked 159th. Oh wait, hold on. He's ranked 1,590th.
But he stole my
James
That's
bike.
his
wins.
current rank.
James,
His current
Well,
rank is
he lost
1590.
to Andy. Of
Yeah,
course
yeah,
he's
so
that's what
who
it
else
is.
has he lost to?
He's gonna have to claw his way back up to 1,200.
Oh yeah.
it's nice
Is
to
that
know
really there, Shaylee? Is that really the list? Is
I'm
that really
pulling the picture
ranking?
up of him right now. Hold
That's
on.
fantastic. We love
They
James
have
Frost.
a picture of him.
That's
Yeah,
a good. That's a look.
1,159th place.
Yeah, the IFPA fucking has a guy who's got time on his hands to run the website. That's him. That's him. He stole
Yeah,
my bike.
Yeah, why, James? I've been trying to
It
be
looks
nice.
like a fucking bike stealer.
Yeah,
He
look
looks
at-
like a guy who's
Is that an arrest photo?
1,590th.
Is that a
best
mug
pinball.
shot? Is that a mug shot for bike?
That's his
thieving?
shot here. He's been ranked with the IFPA for 5 years. He's been active. He's registered. He's got his player number here. He's actually registered out of San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
Where he
I
was
think
homeless for a
I
minute.
think you struck on the key there, though, Shaylee.
Oh,
I think
James.
you said the key word in there, and that key word is registered.
Registered?
I think that if you register and pay whatever the registration fee is to the International Pinball
And submit a
Association, I would be willing to bet that you have become a professional pinballer and
Yes.
flipper man.
Yes.
So congratulations to James Frost win. And
Oh.
I don't think he really stole the bike.
No,
and I
He
hope
I'll
that
tell
he
you-
recovered from
I
pinball
think
loss.
he'd help you beat up the guy who did, though.
He would. Or he could at least play some hilarious music for while it was happening.
He was very active in the Add-A-Ball Weekly tournament throughout 2019, and I think that's where his rankings probably got up there. But obviously, since COVID, his last tournament was on
Vegas.
February 19th, 2020,
I think he went to. Oh, okay. Maybe he went to Vegas for something.
which he
else.
won. By the way, he won that tournament.
Really?
Yeah. On
Yeah.
and that was the last one.
So yeah, we're
Hey,
look,
he's
we're out here
very-
poking fun, and he's
Did he
Yeah,
get-
he's very-
Did he get some sort of a belt that I could have? Like a what was it? Like a belt buckle with a jukebox on it or something. James, when you're out and about, I could sure use that belt.
He
Keep
did
my
beat a guy who was
disappointed.
ranked 68, so
Yeah.
it wasn't all a bunch of tomato cans.
No.
No.
There was a So
I
I mean,
like that
all the
Andy
rest
thinks
were except for the Dave Stewart.
if you win a pinball tournament, you get a belt buckle with a jukebox on it.
Yeah. They were out of pinball machines, so I got something else that plugged into the wall.
Yeah.
Listen, the jukebox champion has a fucking belt buckle with a bunch of pinballs
it.
on it. You're gonna have to
That's
go
the
trade
joke.
them.
That's
How do
the
you-
joke. The jukebox champion.
Good news and bad news. We got the belt.
Actually,
That is,
Chad, I think you might have accidentally stumbled onto something. Jukebox Champion is actually a thing because going to the jukebox and playing a selection of songs that is the perfect selection of songs for where you are with whomever you're with actually should be a sport as much as playing pinball is.
are we talking
Because
about a jukebox hero?
A
kind of.
jukebox hero. That's
I
what
mean,
was
I'm
gonna
not
say.
saying I'm not talking
How
about
do you say that in
but as
Spanish?
far as a jukebox champion, as far as competitive jukeboxing, I think that actually sounds like something that I would be interested in watching and taking part in.
I think competitive beatboxing actually already owns the rights to competitive jukeboxing, so
Yeah.
you
Well,
can't.
you can't do the beatbox right now with the COVID. You know, the spitting. You know, they have to.
You have to do it into your elbow.
You need a plastic guard. You know.
No one can hear you.
He's killing it, I think.
Nobody
you
ever
just have to-
talks about the beatboxers that are out of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not seeing anything under competitive jukeboxing. I just thought that might be
Oh,
something
oh,
that
oh,
came up.
No, I think
I
that's
don't
a
know
good
who was
idea,
there.
though.
One time,
I like it.
what's right across from Bisbee in Mexico. I was over there with some gringos, and we were just wandering around.
Gay 90?
No, across. We were into Mexico, and we were drunk. I forget who was there, but I went into a bar and I walked in and it was like that Animal House scene, but I was the white guy walking into a
Wait,
Mexican.
you went into Naco at night and went
No,
into a bar?
Yeah, it was in the afternoon, but I went into the bar. No one else was with me, and it was filled. And then I went over. I had money, and I went over, and I was waiting for people to catch up, and then I played music in the jukebox, and then eventually the people came in. But people enjoyed the music selection. It's like random stab. I couldn't even read it, but so there you go. Like I'm a Mexican jukebox hero. Because they, or maybe
You're international.
And if you've heard
You're an
some
international
of the, I
jukebox
guess
hero.
if you hear their music though, or some of that kind of music, to me, I don't like it. I'm not saying it's not great, but I don't like it. But to pick out one song that's better than the other there, but maybe it's just that they're all so shitty that they'll dance to anything.
Are we talking about mariachi music?
Maybe
It wasn't
I
by
like,
choice, but maybe that's what I might have hit a little selection of mariachi.
I get a lot of when you get radio stations. When I first moved here, you'd have to listen to radio stations, and you get a lot of Mexican stations being on the border. And I found that I kind of liked it, and I didn't know why because I didn't know what it was saying. And I think the answer is horns. There's not a lot of horns in American music.
I agree with that.
The horns are.
I agree with that.
And I can't understand. I know Marque dos for Espanol, and that's it. I think.
What a command.
Yeah. No, simplemente Maria.
So you had no problem communicating with everyone in Naco while you were there.
When you play music, the little people can get up and dance and move their cowboy boots around too without any, I came in and
you just have an understanding, a deep understanding.
I felt like like we were one chicken dance away from, really making some progress.
So what you're saying, Andy, is until you got there, this packed bar, they were unable to really navigate the jukebox.
I came in and they go, hey, it's cool. I'm a professional. And then I took my quarters out of a plastic container.
See?
My jukebox. Actually, I just went up and I hit it with my fist.
Like Fonzie. Look, though, I'm telling you, though, that is an absolute skill. To be able to read a room and see who's in there and put money in the jukebox and not anger everyone in the place. Maybe there's not even jukeboxes anymore. I don't know. I mean, there aren't even bars. Scope it out and get it exactly right, because you see the one guy who thinks he does it, and then the third song in is he thinks it's great and it's garbage.
You can do it to be like that person who got on my bike last night. You can do it, go in and be a cunt. And what I did one time, me and John Cochran at this bar in Bandon. We're from Coquille, so we went to Bandon to drink, and we were in a bar underage, and we kept playing Splish Splash. I was taking a bath. I was wanting to annoy the
Bobby Darin.
That's always good when you're underage, is to stand out and piss off the day regulars.
Yeah, they toss us out after the fourth time. Go, no, this next one is not. It was a lot of fun.
Andy, you were funny even then. I have to say that's fucking, especially in Oregon, because it's probably like I was gonna say to Erickson, this would have to be a regional type thing, because in Arizona it's very easy. It's not a you go to a bar in Arizona, it's a very easy crowd. You play Bob Seger, you know, you're solid. You play, you know, it's easy here. So that's
You have like
That Kid Rock
Yeah.
off of Warren Zevon.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Oh man, tell Stanhope we need an app where you can take over a jukebox with, go into a country bar and play some just fucking yeah. That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm not talking about doing it to be mean. I'm talking about doing it to actually as like a competition. Like you have like 10 guys come in and there's a bar full of idiots eating fucking appetizers and drinking fucking draft beers. And you know, just
Oh,
a
man.
regular crowd. Some people are
shooting?
shooting pool. You know, it's just a regular fucking Thursday night in Toledo. And you got to go in and plunk in fucking $1.50 and play 6 songs that get it fucking, that do everything. Take you through all the emotions. It's party. There's crying. People are hugging. They're dancing.
You're just throwing more dirt. You're throwing dirt on the corpse of comedy. Yeah, when people realize, oh wait, we can have all the same disinterest in something else, and then what good will we?
Yeah. What will be the best competitive jukeboxers out there?
I think what you're describing used to be called the DJ.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I don't know if that's the same thing anymore.
It is.
DJ at the mall. Right.
It is because, you know, like we talked about this, we're all from small towns. Where I grew up, there was the jukebox. If someone put $3 in the jukebox, the next 45 minutes was theirs. And you would be like, oh, fuck, it's Kenny. Fucking Kenny put in the money with
Or
Fox.
Jeff Tate. Jeff Tate was fucking loaded the whole
Yeah.
thing, Seeger after Seeger.
So going in, just like, you know, you have like 4 or 5 like professional players who get ready and do their stretching and have their quarters in their little roll. And then they're like, the game tonight's going to be in Sioux City, Iowa. And we're going to be at Skidmo's on the river in Sioux City, Iowa at 8 o'clock. And everybody gets $1.50 to fucking make it happen. You got to go.
Oh, yeah.
Fun. That's a pitchable reality show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is exactly what we used to do in the funhouse during COVID.
Yeah.
Where we would try and fucking just get them, like after a podcast, we'd be drunk or drinking more, and we would get going, and then eventually it would be chat singing a bunch of songs. But it definitely, that's how I found out how much you like 733.
Yeah.
I played Cumbersome, and you sang, no, it was down by the river.
I can sing everything from that.
There was another night where
Now I think it's a bad
idea.
One enemy here, Commander. Tread carefully.
Party, I did 80s fucking like new wave and stuff, and everyone stayed for hours after. That's the same thing, dude.
It is, except that if you're at on a jukebox in a bar in a small town, it's like everyone has the equal chance at it with reporters.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you feel like a hero when you nail it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
now they have the rockolas that are connected to the internet. So anyone who goes on there, they don't have to go. I'm looking for an old Elvis song. It's on there right now,
Yeah.
and you jump ahead. You jump ahead by.
So I guess, well, see, then I guess that would make it more like just straight DJing then, because I was thinking like, all right, you gotta go to the jukebox and press the buttons and flip through the songs and be like, all right, is it Clarence Carter stroking or Billy Squire a stroke? It's a
My
fucking...
my
ding-a-ling.
That would still be good. You
Yeah.
can call it best of the worst, right? You have to choose what's available.
Jukebox was you know, it's what it was. There was, you know, there was going to be Sticks and Foreigner and more Sticks.
More than one enemy here, Commander. Tread carefully.
In Alaska, Coots sat there forever after they remodeled it, and I was the promotions director. I'm like, what's going on with the jukebox? And they're like, yeah, we need to get it all set up. I'm like, what's the problem? You know, it's MP3s. You know, there's no longer there's no a
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
account.
Doesn't exist.
I filled the whole fucking jukebox, and that was fucking fun because obviously the Birdhouse is a bar. But there were certain songs that they always play back in the day at the old Birdhouse location, like the My Ding-a-Ling and the Pussy song and all that stuff, right? But then we filled it with punk rock and a couple of deep cuts that like no one would know that I put on there for me to trace and stuff. But that was fun because you could always go in there because it's not a regular jukebox. It's not like you would find in the Midwest. Heavy, like Kansas and fucking Don't Fear the Reaper and shit.
We've got a pizza place in Sierra Vista, Beanie's Pizza, and they've got a jukebox.
Beanie's New York, right?
It's got record players, Ericsson, switches around. You have to shuffle through it, and it was last updated in the 90s, probably early 90s. Yeah,
great.
So I get what you said. They exist. No, that's
It was always a thing. You know, when I was growing up in Walnut and then Peoria, it was whatever bar you were in, it was always just a jukebox. You know, you fucking put $1 in it or $2. But that's pre, I guess, I wasn't even thinking of MP3s and shit, like where you can just Bluetooth connect to it and it'll play anything. It's still what was in the fucking jukebox, and you had to scroll through and pick. And that was how you proved how cool you were to everyone in the bar.
Yeah.
I just want a belt buckle that shows that. That's all.
That's it.
You gotta earn it, buddy. You gotta earn it.
I like the idea. I would watch the YouTube series for certain.
You know what? Let's
I'll fucking take it to somebody.
We just need to. My dad used to take us when my dad had. Well, he had legs. Most of his legs. He had some legs his whole life. But when he had legs and they worked, we went to this place in Coos Bay all the time. Well, next we went to Arctic Circle, and then we went to this record store that sold. I don't know if they sold even albums. I kind of just remember big bins of 45s, but they were used 45s from, I guess from the machines, and then they would bring them there, and then I would just pick stuff, and I didn't know anything, but I was really into trucker music. I got a lot of C.W. McCall,
Oh yeah. That was a big song.
Yeah,
that was a big song.
Movie. It's a movie based on that fucking song.
I really, one of the things I wanted in my life was to be up in a convoy. And then when it happens, you're like, motherfucker, I got to get off the road here. This is not cool. We've all, at least I have fucking, had difficulties with semi-truck drivers. One almost killed me in a collision, but just like, situations where you go by and you're mad, and then, but I'm back, when I used to, I patterned my driving after the Dukes of Hazzard. I'm not racist, but I used to drive like that. And I'd get in truckers who get me.
They drove racist.
Yeah.
Flo and Luke drove racist.
It's not well, yes, they
hard.
did.
Yeah,
they're hard.
I don't know much about that show, but do you remember an episode of Dukes of Hazzard where a van full of black people broke down?
The Dukes would have helped them.
Well,
they were good old boys. It said it right in the goddamn title.
After Roscoe shot them.
Yeah, that is true, Chad.
But the boys would have looked the other way, and then they would have killed counter protesters with their fucking crossbows. Their hands with their fucking elephant toe or whatever.
I think it's open razor, or however you say that. I think it's simpler than that. If there are black people on the Dukes of Hazzard, then then Roscoe and Boss Hogg just said about fucking the dam, and the show doesn't happen anymore. The Dukes of Hazzard get along fine in their daily life because the cops are not busy bothering these other guys, and if the show is just them, going to work and driving.
I don't know who did those shows, but you can bet it wasn't like what's the guy who did Happy Days and all those? Frank Marshall. But
Penny Marshall's brother.
Because there could have been Dukes of Hazzard spin-off, fucking Hogg just, running for re-election, or, Roscoe, they could have done a lot of other shit, they capitalized fucking market that is the base, basically your fucking dullards, your fucking...
What would be the...
Smart.
I was gonna say, I watched a lot of Dukes of Hazzard growing up. I played with Dukes of Hazzard, Hot Wheels, and it wasn't racist like you think it would be. It was racist in the fact that when there was fucking black guys, it was good. We need your help, Duke boys.
Chad, you're totally right.
Overly helpful. It was racist in a completely different way. Yeah.
It's way less racist of a show than Death Valley days.
Well, that's...
or even Bonanza, if you think about it.
Victory is close, I can feel it.
But the Duke boys were, Chad, you're totally right. At the first thing you said was, it says right in the song, they're good old boys. They were good boys. They were good. They were on the side of good. They would have helped any people of color they came across. And that would have been they were the good guys. They were the Robin Hoods. They were,
and it wasn't their fault if those guys were portrayed in a demeaning and fucking
they were just trying to help,
stereotypical manner in the fucking show.
You remember when they kept the show going and those guys went on to solo careers, and then they brought in the Joe and Doug of the Dukes of Hazzard.
That's the joke that we had.
Yeah.
We used to make that joke all the time. People would ask me if you were on the Man Show, I would be like, yeah, but I was on the... And then I don't even remember the two guys' names now, but I knew the guys' names at the time, the Bo and Luke replacements.
I think it was Mo and Duke.
After it jumped the shark.
Yeah.
They did have a spin-off.
Well, they kept the show going.
No, there was a spin-off from Dukes of Hazzard, Enos. He got a job in LA, and they did 18 episodes, one season.
Yeah.
I never knew that. My cousin and I used to watch Dukes of Hazzard. We were little kids, though, man. We thought it was the greatest thing. We'd also, though, wake up at like 3 in the morning and go out and watch roller derby. That was on TV early as fuck in the morning with probably had little boners and didn't even know why. All these fucking chicks beating each other up.
I still don't know why I get
we didn't have
roller
that.
derby.
Yeah. There he is. There's Enos.
Yeah, and Enos had a stalker type crush on Daisy. He's just too damn nice, but in reality, if that was a real situation in the South or whatever, he'd break into her house and steal her shorts first.
Right.
And he'd come over to investigate it, make her feel safe. And,
the Duke boys had bows and arrows that would put a stop to that.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have known it yet. They wouldn't have known it yet. No, I think Andy's right. I think Enos comes over right. If this is like a Dateline, this is Keith Morrison talking to them all afterwards, like, you guys had no idea that's what he was up to.
But he just wanted to show her anything but a good time.
We knew he was playing both sides of the fence to some degree, but
It's John Schneider and Tom Wopat.
Yeah. And what were the names of the two guys that, when they did the show after that, they had their two cousins? Because
didn't even know they did.
No, it wasn't Bo and Luke. It was like Cody. I think it was Cody and somebody else. Cody.
What?
They did the Dukes of Hazzard without Bo and Luke. They weren't another season, just like the Man Show did.
Oh.
Only they got had funnier content on
just as much race crimes.
Yeah, we had to carve out a niche in the brilliance that Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel had put out, and we had to stay around that show. We never could break out of that. It's too fucking deep of a fucking hole.
It looks like I'm trying to find the name of the guys who wrote it.
Wow.
Is this the goddamn
we finally
Mandela effect?
How could you get?
Remember a show that is not real?
It's real, I promise.
I never heard of it, but that doesn't mean it's not real.
I thought about my bicycle. It was real. Now it's
Black lives matter.
So, are you gonna
Well,
get
there's a
into
remake
license?
starring Johnny Knoxville, Sean
No, no,
William
no, no,
Scott,
no.
and
Oh,
Jessica
that's the
Simpson.
movie.
They did the TV show after John
Final
Stamos.
season. The final season is what I would
didn't
imagine it's
include.
called.
It was their cousin.
Yeah,
And
and
they
then
did
they
it.
at the end of it they sang "Onward Christian Soldiers" and they blew up a black church.
No, they jumped over an exploding black church with their car.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Wait, this is exactly the Little House on the Prairie." And they like, "Yeah, well, Michael Landon submitted
Yeah, he's the executive producer of this shit too.
in blackface." Michael Landon in blackface dropped that script. Cut out the
Again, I'm telling you, I watched the Dukes of Hazzard. If that happened, they launched over the black church, did a flip. One of the Duke boys leaned out and saved people. Pulled them into the car. Pulled them in while they flipped around, and they said, "Oh, that was they saved all the occupants of the church when they jumped over the." It was cornballs to the.
Was it Coy Duke and Vance Duke?
Yeah, Coy.
Boy and Vance.
So Coy Duke
Coy
was
and
Byron. Byron Cherry was Coy
I
Duke.
wish he said Byron
And-
Allen.
And Christopher Mayer was Vance Duke.
Boy and
Christopher.
Vance.
I don't know either one of those guys.
Boy and Vance. That was
Boy and band.
Like, I want your next idea. I'm gonna go Dukes of Hazzard remake with all black people.
Beginning the way, Commander. Stop
that was
them.
Eddie show.
No, they'll be like, no, we're not doing that. Yeah, we are. They're gonna be racist. They're gonna drive around and piss on the car and shit.
And the cops that try to bust them and give them trouble are also blacks, but they're just like Uncle Tom style blacks who
Yeah,
like hate
yeah.
the black power and the
That would-
and the black
That would be
Panthers.
in keeping with the theme, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But
They're
they
still the
still-
man, but
Oh man, how pimped out would Boss Hogg's fucking car be with those big horns?
you mean
Dude,
Pimp Hog? He'd be just Pimp Hog.
Pimp Hog,
And they kind of take Pimp Hog.
Lil Hog.
Feels like everything's contrived or lifted, sort of. But wasn't that a guy on the Flintstones? I think Boss Hog
Pimp
was
Hog?
a character. I think Pimp
Probably.
seemed real close to a
Well,
character.
oh yeah. Sorrel Book, who played Boss Hogg, was kind of like all of Fred Flintstone's bosses. He was like a giant round head and a tiny squat little body, and he yelled a lot. Yeah, he was like Mr. Slate.
Mr. Slade.
Yeah.
Okay, Commander.
I feel
Michael's
like
on the way
you
back.
guys should not watch goddamn
Multiple hostiles in this sector.
Dukes
Ready
of
to sign
Hazzard
off to get
or
shot at.
Flintstones. He did not look like Mr. Slade at all.
He didn't.
Slade
No.
was
There was a character on the Flintstones who I forget. I had other stuff going on back then.
Chad's calling us out. So, like, was it Mr. Slate, like the little short? Maybe. Oh, you know what?
No, it wasn't Mr. Slate, but there
I'm
was
thinking
a
of
captain.
George Jetson's
He
boss.
come in,
Oh, yeah.
he was a Texas guy, and he had big horns on the car. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I've been
That
under
wasn't his
duress
boss.
today. I wanted to fight myself.
I'm way off the track, guys. I steered us way
Mr.
off
Slade
the track.
was Flintstone's. He ran the quarry.
Yeah. But I was picturing George Jetson's fucking little short guy. who was-
Spacely.
Cogswell Cogs.
Spacely. I switched my slates with my spacelies.
Didn't they fuck
Oh,
up the
Mr.
space?
Spacely. That's right.
I think the Flintstones ruined the whole thing with the Flintstones and the Jetsons. They gave us two looks. One at way a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I had a bike.
Well, yeah,
back
that
then.
was all the honeymoon.
And then,
Bike
but
back
really,
then.
the only differences are, is the car they drive. That's it.
Well,
It's
and the
same
fact that one's prehistoric.
Well, and
Yeah.
one's powered by your
matter.
feet and one's
It
just a
Yeah,
jet.
Right,
it don't matter if
right.
you got a dinosaur eating your garbage under the sink or you're in a fucking hover suit. You're still dealing with a bitchy wife.
It's a bunch of
agenda,
bullshit. Right. It never changes. You're totally
and then
right.
you got a boss. It's always on your shit.
Yeah.
It's like that's why there was no middle show because that would have been just on what's the fucking use? I'm just gonna be a slave in the future.
Yeah.
Working in a rock quarry. I'll be making fucking air biscuits and gravy.
It takes all day. Dude, you've been prophetic right there, my friend. That's exactly correct. That's the point of all that, right? That it's still the same bullshit.
Yeah, it's like fucking why bother, man? You know,
You're
there's
gonna
nothing.
worship somebody.
Yeah, and really, wouldn't it be cooler to be back in the fucking prehistoric days and then have
No.
a baby that's on roids or what the fuck? That why did Bam Bam's fuck? Why didn't he breed? If Bam Bam would have bred Pebbles or
Bam Bam
anyone,
was that was a sad childhood actor
Yeah, I think Bam
story.
Bam.
That was
Well,
like
first of
Dana
all,
Plato.
wasn't
Yeah,
it
that
Bam
didn't.
Bam? He
There was
seems
a 30
very
for
much
30.
on the spectrum to me, Bam
Let's-
Bam. He
yeah,
seems like uncomfortable with social interactions and touching and hugging and and very much a hitty
Okay,
sort of.
who
it's
cares
a
if
rape
you're
very
that
man
aggressive.
strong?
response. So,
Yeah.
definitely a
Strong,
very
you can
main
just
man
grab
response.
dinosaurs by their trunks and whatever. You can do what you want. He was a Goliath as a toddler. Imagine what. And then I think they did update that show, and I think he was just kind of a regular.
they're
He
teenagers.
did it
They
when he
did
was
that.
older.
Well,
Yeah,
they
and
just
that's life,
focused on
right?
the Great
You know,
Gazoo after that. So,
that's
Yeah.
life, right? Like you
That
start
was
out and
terrible.
as a kid, if people give you confidence or you're just happy and you have all this fucking internal strength and stuff, but by the time you're a teenager, it's just fucking the same old shit. You compromised it. You fucking followed the pack enough.
Yeah.
Have
And
strength, but it's lost way in your belly. And then some shit happens, and then you just fucking get rid of it for a long time.
yeah,
Yeah,
no. The next
fucking
thing you know, you're married and you're pedaling your car to the rock quarry, or
yeah,
you're
yeah,
hopping into your air car and you're putting through the skies to your fucking job at the fucking
yeah.
cog factory.
Hey,
Either
strong,
way, it's bullshit, and you're gonna come home to the same fucking garbage every goddamn night.
strongest baby ain't shit when you're a fucking broken 40-year-old. You know, like, hey man, how far back do you need to look for fucking glory days, man? Oh, yeah, I got a name for you. I got a name for you. This occurred to me. Uh, I was talking. Oh, I thought it was across from this place with James Ross Wynn, and I was like, right across the street from you, sir, is Farrell's Ice Cream. It used to be Farrell's Ice
Uh-huh.
Cream, and he's familiar with the whole thing. It's a real tacky, like Mr. Rogers decored ice cream place. And when the Coquille Red Devils in 1977 won the state tournament basketball at Mac Court, 1977. I think they beat Gladstone or maybe it was Marist, and they won. And then we went there and had ice cream afterwards and all that shit. But the star of the 77 team was Steve Hammer. How about that?
Yeah,
And he was
it's a good one.
the newspaper talked about him. He was kind of a Leif Garrett, he's a Leif Garrett who made a lot of points. And I don't remember because I was inattentive even then.
Steve Hammer.
Steve Hammer, and he was the fucking jock. He was a fucking run you over running back, like fucking the stud.
The Hammer.
Yeah, he Hammer. And
What if they couldn't come up with a nickname for him? He was on the team and he would just run everyone over, and they're like, "Oh, we should come up with a nickname
no, it was
for this
pretty
guy."
obvious.
Like, I don't know,
Steve-O.
Steve, like the run over guy, Hammer. I don't know what.
No, let's call him Steve-O.
Steve-O, that's it. Steve-O, the guy who hits you.
Yeah, and Steve was he was a fucking cool cat. He was in the class. He was in Spike Perry's class of 79. That's why I looked up Spike Perry went missing date stuff, and it was in 1985. My friend died in 1984, and then the brother-in-law takes off on his wife a year later. So fuck you, Spike Perry. That's why she had an ulcer. She lost 2 brothers in a short turn, and then her husband went missing because he couldn't hack it. Fuck you, Spike. I want your face mask, bitch. Come on, Spike.
Too bad you couldn't pull him in by the face mask and tell him
That's
that.
no way to live life, you fucking little bitch. You're 6 years past high school.
Yeah.
Now you get out on the field.
Get back in there.
With your life. But anyway, so then I thought of Steve Hammer and then that state championship. But Steve Hammer had this big write-up, and he was like, all the ladies loved him. He was kingpin, back in the, fucking, he could not. And Steve was cool to me, like most high school, jockos. My brother wasn't as good of an athlete. My brother was anyway, but Steve was cool to me. I always remember that. And then when I was doing comedy years ago and doing these like shitty things around town, Steve Hammer would pop in, and he was always drunk and I always fucking loved it. You know,
Nice.
I
All
loved it.
right, good.
But here's the cool thing about Steve Hammer is one time he was drunk water skiing and hit a boat ramp with both knees. But before that,
But that is really hitting it.
yeah, well,
He was
There's no
no
more
longer
knees you can
called
throw
that.
into that boat ramp.
He
got
was
Here's
no,
it.
no longer
definitely
called
got
the
hammered.
Hammer after that, by the way.
So I met him with the two.
He was
fucked
called
up
Needless Steve Hammer.
Yeah, his wife said, you know, he would talk about being, you know, he was basically a married with children guy, you know, talk about the
Ed
glory.
O'Neill.
Yeah,
And then, so when he graduated high school, he went to college. He had scholarships from several places, wherever he decided to go. I think it was Portland State, and then he just got there and decided, fuck it, went back to Tokyo, where he was Steve Hammer.
Yeah.
And
Hey, that
yeah,
works
but
for
the
some
legend,
people.
he's dead now. But the legend of Steve Hammer was, you know, probably the best athlete in Coquille history in his Coquille day. But we'll never know what he could have been because he decided to just fucking call it good in 1977. Fucking retired champ, you know, state basketball champ.
It's hard to maintain that desire for athletics when you're a teenager and you know, and all the other things are happening for you. Like you have that it drilled into you as a kid by your parents if you're one of those Steve Hammer type kids. And then as you start to become a teenager and you become an adult, you're like, I actually don't give a fuck about basketball.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to be the best after that, you know.
Got the cramps. I don't know why. I'm falling apart. I'm falling apart here.
Yeah.
You know?
Is it hot up? It's probably hot up there too. I need to make a drink.
No,
so.
the fires have cooled it down. I've been sick of the heat.
The fires have cooled it down.
Yeah, the fire smoke got here, and finally we got some relief.
So you're in the shade from the. It's the ash fall that's cooling you down.
We're I don't know how close the fires are, but it's a haze came in, and we're in a valley. So when the smoke comes in, it sits here. Right. So it's been kind of, you know, this year's starting to add up to kind of a shitty year.
Starting to get there.
Really?
Starting to get there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it doesn't, it's trending.
7 months into a pandemic, and you're just saying that, like, it's kind of looking like we're gonna get a shit year.
Trending down.
I mean, you know, like my bike got stolen. It's like, you know, who would do that like right now? You know, that's like, hey, you know, I'm a fucking bad person. I'm a bad person. I've done bad things, but I'm taking a break. And did that person come up? Did they even once think about social distancing up in my driveway? Did they wear a mask? Yeah. Do you know I don't have COVID when you get them?
All these questions and more could be answered with a Ring camera.
That's
it. And all these questions.
This episode brought to you by Ring.com.
We should put up a Andy. Oh, sorry. We should put up a Andy Amazon wish list fucking link. So if someone can send him
let's get it set up.
Amazon
I'm a good
Ring camera.
I'm a good apple, but I'm in a patrol, and I have what cops call hunches. And if I catch him,
I think
Andy's a good cop. He just doesn't play by the rules.
Totally.
I would be a good cop if the fact that I've tried killing yellow jackets most of the summer and they're still alive is any indication. I would not be a good officer of the law. So I can't kill nothing.
No kills. Yeah.
Not even intentionally. I don't know that that's the whole job, but it's, you know, that's like part of it. You know,
seems like their favorite part of it.
Investigation is 4%, murders
6%, 96%.
Paperwork, some of that.
A lot of paperwork, some desire. All right, everybody. There you see Andy Andrus, P.O. Box and Venmo address, Andrew dash.
Yeah, I was going to say cover my address. I don't want no more fucking Patreon grifters up my shit.
That's yeah, that's true. We don't need them knowing where you are.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what? The thing I got out of this whole thing though, and I saw Hedberg lost some shit, and he was cool about it. When Doug Stanhope, we were at the San Francisco or Sacramento Punchline, and Tom Rhodes come in for the after party, and Doug's camera got stolen, and we both just assumed it was Rhodes because he's so fucked up one day. Like, oh, guess he needed it for you more than we did, or whatever. Tommy Rhodes back in the day, we both were sure it was Tom Rhodes that stole it, but.
Really?
Yeah, but and Renee was responsible for it, you know, and she was, you know, she was like me.
Start with her. Why would Rhodes steal a camera from
Renee
We
you?
didn't
probably
know.
stole
That's
it.
what made us wonder. Same reason I didn't know why he stole my shoe out in Death Valley, but I'll get to the bottom of it because I don't do cold cases. I do cold cuts, but I keep fucking vengeance on a hot platter.
Prosciutto and melon.
Yeah, like some warm prosciutto.
Prosciutto and melon.
But here's the thing: it's like roll with the punches, and I was fucking, you know, mad. I talked to my neighbor lady, and I'm like, God, you know, she can take. She's still, well, around here, I don't need to use the language. It just makes people recoil. So I go over and talk to the neighbor lady, and she can take it. You know, it's like, God, fuck it. And, you know, she understood or whatever. But you know, it's like it doesn't do any good to be angry. You know, you can plot revenge. You know, or you know, and I've done that. I'm thinking about it, and I probably will never catch him. I'm sure about that.
No,
But I can't. I have another issue. I have years ago, State Farm fucked me over, and here we are again at a precipice where I'm about to take a police report and lie to my fucking business.
No,
never-
you're not. No, you're not. Listen, this is a show that's for entertainment purposes only, and everything that's said here is a complete fabrication and joke. We're all professional comedians, and we're trying to just do and say funny things that provoke a reaction in our. I could also edit that, but you know, there's also other ways to deal with things. So everything here you see is satire and meant for entertainment purposes.
Anybody
Hey,
who's ever
check out this bike that just came up on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. Well, mine
That
is
it?
a Gary
Fisher Marlin.
Fisher Marin. Is Marin? Is that?
Is that it? That's
No,
the color?
Mine was gold with black.
Oh, they painted it already.
No,
Yeah.
my God. They did. Anyway, I
These
think
guys
son
are
of a
pros.
bitch.
I think I stepped on our way out again. With
I'm gonna get it. It says
How much?
we'll do a deal, $200 or a couple of 6-packs. So
Really?
I'll do it.
Look,
Why not? Right?
Yeah. Well, Andy, just we can go deeper into the bicycle mystery, and I look forward to pursuing it. But the part of that story that got kind of buried in all of that is that you're going to Montana. So you're taking off, and you're not going to have a bicycle to go with you, or you're going to buy a new bike.
No, I'm just not gonna. You know, I'm like, you know, it's like a road trip where I would normally just be really slow and stare at a mountain and go, fuck yeah. And then if I had my bike, I'd clamber it out of there and go on an aimless ride and get lost and shit.
Right.
I'll keep it focused, get over there on Tuesday. I'm going to stay with Lisa Young in Spokane, and I'll be in
nice.
Whitefish on Wednesday. We'll podcast there. I'll be there on Wednesday.
Very exciting.
In Whitefish.
Taking the podcast
Oh
on
my
the road,
God.
everybody.
Yeah.
This guy's really feeling it,
love
and
it.
I appreciate
I love
that.
it.
That's
And
great.
I've been so excited. It's just like, you know, like reading Sam Tallent's book. It makes you, that's closer, but it makes you appreciate. Well, I mean, it's like road trips for fucking $100. You know, like we drive fucking 15 hours to do a gig and door deal and get $60 or something. I'm gonna spend money on this trip, but I'm gonna have fun.
Right.
You know, when I presented it, she's like, "That's a long ways to go for a few days." It's like, that's that's what I did. You know, you don't let a gypsy live a gypsy lifestyle and then say, "Hey,
Well-
man, don't you think you need to calm down, put down some carpet, and hang out?"
Rent a trailer.
I love it, Andy, because to me, like, the podcast allows you to still go and do stuff like that and still be legitimately for your job, entertainment. You know,
And-
you're doing it. That's what you're doing. You know?
And not only that, I can't imagine, like, and Mitchell and I have already been on 2 trips. They were weird by ourselves trips, but we've gotten the fuck out of here twice because you've been trapped in the same place, and it speaks nothing about your relationship at all. Just you're at your house for so long, you just want to get the fuck out.
I'll tell you this. She can make biscuits and gravy.
Well, I bet that's true.
She consorts with fucking hundreds of years of fucking family notes on.
I don't.
He's got
I
a
don't
yellow
wanna-
dog-eared recipe on
What?
an old piece of paper.
But
Yeah.
being blind, there's a lot of flour on the floor.
I don't.
Not being
I don't want to.
That's the truth.
I don't want to make presumptions about Andy's relationship either, Erickson, but he's not been fighting Yellow Jackets day and night for no reason. So have a good trip, sir.
This has nothing to do with
go
my
have a good
relationship, but I was holding Mr. Squishles and he leaned into a kiss and I didn't lean away.
I fucking love you. All right. Thanks for being out there, everybody. Like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to take a break and come back on Patreon. Join us over there if you'd like. It's just $5 a month for a whole bunch of extra content. We always go over there after we get done here. So that's where we're going to be next. Also, don't forget, you can subscribe to Chad Shank's Twitch channel. It's you get a free subscription with your Amazon Prime membership, so you already
Limited
have
time only.
Yeah, limited time. You never know when this
Speaking of
like
passionate
America,
relationships,
you never know when this might end.
Chad's
So-
dream is a passion.
Passionately. Very true. So also do that. And Doug Stanhope's book, No Encore for the Donkey, is available on audible.com. Issues with Andy t-shirts are available on dougstanhope.com, and they're pretty badass. Shaylee's got new slides for those. Look how
Where the fuck did it
beautiful.
go? I had it.
Man.
What happened to it?
My
Oh,
bike will be
man.
Well,
available on
that one's
Craigslist.
Get Andy a new bike.
I'm going on a bike ride with my brother in the McKenzie River, and he's got an extra. And I just
You're
ain't gonna
going
work
on a
with
bike
it.
ride in the river.
Well, we're gonna go on a bike ride along the McKenzie River Trail in a couple of weeks, and he says he's got an extra bike. So I'm just,
That's
you
how
know,
you
I'm,
tell a story.
I'm
That's how you
bike-
do it.
I'm just bikeless. You know, James, you were homeless. Now you have a bike, and I don't have a bike, but I have a home. So.
I love you guys. We'll see you on the other side. Later.
Later, guys.
Cargo scoop retracted. Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage.
granted. Set course for landing pad 3-3.
Scan detected. Landing gear deployed.
Landing complete. Execute system shutdown. The Imperial Flight Operations Bureau wishes you a pleasant and productive visit, Commander.